Okay, today, triangle. We're going to talk about the triangle inequality theorem. The triangle inequality theorem states that the sum of the lengths of any two sides of a triangle must be greater than the length of the third side. So for this triangle, PQR, the theorem states that PQ, side PQ plus side QR, must be greater than side PR. And that side QR plus side RQ must be greater than side PQ. And side PR plus, let's see, PR plus PQ must be greater than RQ. In order for that shape to be a triangle, those three things have to happen. So in part of your lesson today, you're going to be asked, is it possible to form a triangle with the given side lengths? And then you're going to be given side lengths. So let's say that you're given 8, 15, and 17. And you're asked, is it possible to form a triangle? Well, you ask yourself, is 8 plus 15 greater than 17? If it is 8 plus 15 greater than 17, yes, it is. All right, 23 is greater than 17. So then you check your next two sides. Is 15 plus 17 greater than 8? 15 and 17, that's about 32, and that's greater than 8. So then you take your 8 plus your 17, and is that greater than 15? 25 greater than 15? That is as well. So is it possible to form a triangle? Yes. Isn't that awesome? What about with the sides 6, 8, 14? 6, 8, 14. We're going to take 6 plus 8. Is that greater than 14? 6 plus 8 is 14, isn't it? And 14 is not greater than 14, is it? No. So this is right off the bat in your first test. This is a no. No. 6 plus 8 is not greater than 14 is your explanation. So sometimes it works out on the first one you try. Sometimes you got to try all of them. Anybody have a problem with that? All right, let's do one more. 15, 16, 30. 15, 16, 30, we say, does 15 or is 15 plus 16 greater than 30? That is 16 plus 30 greater than 15? Yes. And then is 15 plus 30 greater than 16? And that's a yes as well. So those three sides can form a triangle. In the second part of your assignment today, you are going to be asked to find the range whoever's clicking their pen or whatever they're doing, can you stop doing it? Find the range for the measure of the third side of a triangle given the measure of two sides. Find the range for the measure of the third side of a triangle given the measure of the two sides. And let's say that you're given 3 and 7. When you're asked to find the range, you're going to list your answer as a compound inequality. So here's what your answer is going to look like. It's going to be something is less than x, and x is less than something else. The first something, the lower end of the range of values for the third side of this triangle, is going to be whatever 7 minus 3 is equal to. So in here goes 7 minus 3. What's that equal to? Good. That's to find the lower range of values for the third side of this triangle. To find the upper range of values, you take the two sides that are given and you add them together. And what's 3 plus 7? That's 10. So the range of values for the third side of this triangle is greater than 4 and less than 10. Greater than 4, less than 10. 4 will not work, will it? Okay, 4 doesn't work and 10 doesn't work. Okay? But anything greater than 4 or less than 10 will work. And you could pick any number in that range if you want, and you can do the test that we just did. Make sense? Great. Great. How about 11 and 23? We're going to find the range for the measure of the third side of a triangle given two sides. So the lower end of our range is going to be 23 minus 11. What's 23 minus 11? 12 is less than x, and x is less than 23 plus 11, which is 34. That's how you find the range of values for the third side of a triangle. You guys okay with that? Subtract them, and make sure you subtract the big number minus the little number, okay? You don't want to get a negative side value, do you? Real hard to have a negative side length on the side of a triangle. It would look funny and people pick on it, okay? Triangle would be offended. Probably need to go get counseling. All right, and then finally, you're going to be given, let's take this triangle. Let's call it MNO. Let's make one side x plus 5. We'll make another side 5x minus 7. And this third side 2x plus 22. Determine the possible values of x. Now, if you go back to that first theorem that you wrote down, the triangle inequality theorem, remember it said that any two sides added together needed to be greater than the third side. Agreed? So that's what you have to do here. You have to set up three equations. You have to set up three inequalities. Okay? You got to take Mn plus NO and make it greater than MO as an equation. So look, let's do Mn plus NO. So what is your x plus your 5x? And then positive 5 and negative 7. And that's got to be greater than 2x plus 22. Okay? And then you got to take NO plus MO, and it's got to be greater than MN. So NO plus MO, what's your 5x plus your 2x? Negative 7 plus 22. And that sum has to be greater than x plus 5. All right, so then you have to set up one more inequality. We did Mn and NO, and then NO and MO. So now we got to do Mn plus MO, and it's got to be greater than NO. So Mn plus MO, we got an x plus a 2x, that's a 3x. We got a positive 5 and a positive 22, that's a positive 27. And that has to be greater than 5x minus 7. And now we got to solve these three equations, or I'm sorry, inequalities. So I'm starting with the first one. Subtract 2x from each side. So 4x minus 2 is greater than 22. Add 2 to each side. So 4x is greater than 24, and divide by 4. So x is greater than 6. Middle equation, I'm going to subtract x from each side. 6x plus 15 greater than 5. Subtract 15. 6x is greater than negative 10. Divide by 6. X greater than negative 5/3. And the third inequality, subtract 3x from each side. $27 is greater than 2x minus 7. Add 7 to each side. 34 is greater than 2x, and then divide by 2. So 17 is greater than x. So when it says to determine the possible values, that's the same as asking you for the range of values. All right? So x has got to be less than something, and it's got to be greater than something. Do you see the highest value over here? This right here says 17 is greater than x, doesn't it? But it also says that x is less than 17. Agreed? You can change those. You can switch them, but you got to change the direction of the inequality, right? It's facing the x. It's pointing to the x. It's got to point to the x. So that's your only value for the top of the range, isn't it? Because both of these are, this says that 6 is less than x, and this says that negative 5/3 is less than x, doesn't it? All right, so we can only use this as the top of our range. So this is 17. So now we got to figure out if 6 is the bottom of the range or if negative 5/3 is. Okay? So I'm going to take this negative 5/3. If you take negative 5/3, 5/3 negative plus 5. I'm substituting it right here to see if it would work as a possible side length. And it would. I get 3 1/3. And now I'm going to plug it in here. In the calculator, I take 5 times 5/3 negative minus 7. And I get a negative 15 1/3. You can't have a negative side length on a triangle, can you? Hurt feelings, all of that, sadness. So since when I substitute this negative 5/3 into here, I get a negative side length, this can't be my lower range, can it? This can't be a value at the bottom. You know, whether it's negative 5/3 or it's negative 3/3, that wouldn't work either, would it? All right, so this doesn't work. It produces a negative side length. So what has to be the other? Do you see how this has to be the other range of value, or the bottom of the range? So there's the bottom of your range of values. When you do these, you're going to write 3 inequalities. You're going to solve 3 inequalities. If just one inequality has your x being less than a value, that's the upper limit. And you have to test the other 2 to see which one you can use. Does that make sense to everybody? You good with that? Okay. Then you're going to be given some side lengths. Let's see. Find the range of possible measures of x. And now you get an 8, an x, and you get a 12. Let's change the 12. Let's change it to 14. So can't you write your 3 inequalities again? We can take an 8 plus an x, and it's got to be greater than 14, doesn't it? What else can we do? X plus 14 has got to be greater than 8. And then 8 plus 14 has got to be greater than x. So when we subtract this 8, we get an x that's greater than 6. When we subtract this 14, we get x has got to be greater than negative 6, which means that negative 5 would be a solution according to this, right? Isn't negative 5 greater than negative 6? Can you have a side length that's negative 5 units? No, that's more hurt feelings. That triangle is going to get picked on. So then we got 8 plus 14 is greater than x, so we got a 22 that's greater than x. Okay? So now, when we're writing the range of possible measures, our x goes in the middle. This x is greater than 6 is the same as 6 is less than x, right? So the bottom of our range of values is 6. This 22 is greater than x is the same as x is less than 22. So 22 is the top of our range. So there's our range of values. Everybody okay with that? Okay. Can everybody in here access focus right now? Okay. If you didn't nod up and down or left or right, I'll assume that's a yes. I didn't make you any copies today for your practice, but I have uploaded them to Focus, and it's under the Resources tab. So I'm going to do 2 things. You can go to the Resources tab if you want, and you can get the page numbers and look at it right on your phone. Or as soon as I write the assignment up here, I'll put it on the wall and you can take a picture of it if you would rather do that. Doesn't matter to me, but you're going to have to use your phone to access the work today. That make sense? Up and down for yes, left to right for no. Just keep staring at your desk if you're alive. Okay, so here's your assignment for today. It's going to start on page 367. On 367, you got 6 through 17. Then you got 20 and 21. And then on page 368, you've got 25 through 29. And 34 to 37. All right, so write that down, please. And then, as always, you need to check focus for homework. For you e-learners, the work has been uploaded to Focus, so it's where it normally is. And you guys are excused to go complete that assignment. For you guys that are in class, hopefully you've written down the assignment. And what I'll do is I'll put those pages up. Raise your hand if you want me to put the page up so you can take a picture of it, or if you're just going to get it off your one. Anybody else want it up there to take a picture? A couple of you? Okay. So let me end this Zoom meeting.